Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Smets from expat2inpat.com, and I will be talking about cultural greetings. I really enjoy talking about countries and cultures and different manners and routines and habits, but today it will all be about greetings. Do you shake a hand? Do you give one kiss? Do you give two kisses? So let's get started right away. I'm digging in right away. First, I want to tell you a little bit about the countries that I have been and lived and worked, and that's where I get the experience from to tell you all about it. If you look at the world map, we of course see Europe right here in the middle, more or less. And this here is a map of Europe, and I have lived here in England, I've lived in Scotland, I've lived in France here on the west coast, I've lived in Spain, I've also lived, well, I am Belgian native, I live in Holland, and there is Germany I've lived in as well, so I've learned how to greet people in many different countries. And oh, I forgot India as well. Lots of people I know there. So I am gonna tell you more about the cultures. First, I want to tell you here again, these are all the countries that I've lived and why it really matters and why I find it so interesting to talk about the different ways of greetings. Because every time I moved to a new country, I had to meet new people. So what is the first thing you do when you meet people? Well, you have to greet them. So how do you greet them? Do you hug? Do you shake hands? Do you give a kiss or two kisses or three or some countries four kisses? So I made up this slide just to show you that every time in 14, 15 years that I've been traveling and living abroad, I had to search for a house, have a new job, connect with the local people. I try to make friends. You have to do all of these things every time you move to a new country and you arrive there. So then every time you have to learn new ways of greeting people because that's what you do. You need to connect with new people. So you need to know how to greet them, how to say hello, what are the customs. So greeting is the number one thing that I always find a little bit awkward in the beginning. All right, so that's why I want to share that with you. So moving on, a few tips that I've made up. First of all, greeting, it's either a word or a gesture of a welcome salutation, okay? So it's an expression of friendly regard. It's part of a big, long definition, but basically it's true. It's either a gesture, a kiss or a handshake or a hug. It's a sign, yeah, or a word, but it's a welcome. It's a salutation. That's a greeting. Now, a few big tips. I made 5. First of all, if you have no idea, you come into a new country, new people, you have no idea what to do, shake hands, okay? Always good. It's always accepted that you shake hands. Number 2, there's no rule about the number of kisses. In Europe, there's so many countries where people kiss. And every time for me, it's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's so funny sometimes. And it's very awkward also sometimes. So there is not really a rule. So it's kind of okay if you're not sure. And I just kind of, yeah, sometimes I just wait a little bit when I'm cheek kissing and seeing if the other person is gonna turn again for another kiss. It's funny sometimes, but there's no rule. So tip number 3, the best thing to do is if you see other people, you copy them. So you look at other people and you think, oh, he's kissing 2 times. Okay, I know I have to kiss 2 times. Or they're hugging. Okay, I can hug, So that's the way to do it. Tip number 4, don't feel embarrassed if you think, okay, I'm going to shake his hands and then the other person wants to kiss you. Just smile, smile. kiss them, and then go on. Okay, so it can be awkward, but it's okay. It's all okay. It's a way of meeting new cultures, so it's part of the game, right? Tip number 5: you never hug a French and you never kiss an Indian person. In India, I will tell you more in a second, but in India, women and men, they don't touch. So you certainly do not kiss an Indian person, okay? Always shake hands if you hesitate. That's the best thing you can do. All right, so first I will tell you a little bit in short of the experiences that I had of the culture in these countries that I've been and worked and lived. Then I will focus on the greeting part. So if we start with Belgium, the culture, the people are rather silent, polite, use a formal handshake, okay? So that's really very shortly explained how the culture is, okay? There's the North, the South, the Flemish, the Walloon, but it's a rather silent, polite culture. Now in the UK as well, the people are rather reserved, closed, not too open, especially not too direct, very formal, very punctual, very organized, very polite. And I wrote down remain a foreigner. I always had a feeling in the UK like, I don't really belong. Even I talk to many people, it's like you're not really, you kind of remain a foreigner. You don't really belong because you're not an English person, or at least that's how I felt. Now, Scotland, people are very open, very helpful, cheerful, very smiley, and a unique accent. It's a great culture there, and it's so different with the UK. The Netherlands, then, people are very direct. Hey, you look bad today. Boom. They just tell you what they think. And that's shocking at first, but that's the culture. They are very open. They just tell you what they think. They're straight honest. They don't like you, they'll tell you. They like you, they'll tell you. Very direct, very shockingly direct. Some more countries, and then I'll go into the greeting right away. Okay, so France, people are very distant, very formal. It's very difficult to connect to the French. If you're not French, you remain a foreigner. Okay, Germany, again, very punctual, very formal. There is some friendliness, some openness, but if you talk the language, if you don't talk German, it's gonna be hard for you. Moving down to Spain. Spain love talking, a lot of discussion, lots of discussion, but very social. Totally not punctual, okay, so you have to be patient there. And they don't really speak English. So again, there you need to learn Spanish. Best advice. And then India, very hard workers, that's the culture, very efficient as well. Very late when you have a meeting, but that's normal. And okay, about the greeting, I'm gonna jump into that right now. So this was the culture in general of all these countries. Now I'm gonna jump into the actual greeting customs. The actual greeting customs. If we start with Belgium, there is of course the handshake. Again, remember my tip number 1, a handshake is always good. And then there's a cheek kissing. However, Belgium is a very small country, but there's a big difference between the north and the south. Okay, there's a Flemish part and a Walloon, a French part. Okay, usually in the whole of Belgium, one kiss on the cheek. Man, woman, woman and woman. However, two men can also kiss on the cheek, mostly in the south of Belgium. You don't see it very often in the north of Belgium. It's rather a French Walloon custom. Okay, so again, a man and a woman, yes, one kiss on the cheek. Two women and two men, it's rather exceptional, but it's very common in the south of Belgium. Okay? In the UK, if it's formal business meeting, you don't know the person, again, a handshake. If you're more connected and you become friends and more, you kind of know each other better, in the UK, there is no cheek kissing. You kind of nod. When friends go out and meet and the party, it's like, hey, hi, you nod. Maybe a little bit of I don't know, maybe a kiss, but it's really not common. I'm not saying family. Family is different. Between family, yes, you can kiss. But when it's just friends and stuff, they don't do cheek kissing. They don't do hugging. It's kind of you meet and you just nod. I found it a bit awkward, to be honest with you, when I first went out with some friends when I was living there. And then I thought, you arrive and it's like, hi. And I kind of want to, I don't know, just do something, give a hug or give a kiss or something. But they don't do it. So that's the custom. Now in France, now this is funny. Okay, first of all, when it's business or you don't know the person, again, a good handshake, best thing you can do. But then if you kind of get to know each other a little bit better, it's kissing. It's cheek kissing. And it's men, women, men, woman, everybody cheek kissing. But in France is really big. There are 99 departments, and depending on where you are, it's one kiss or two kisses or three or four. So when I was more in the north, it was one. When I was a little bit more south, two, three. And then sometimes on the west coast, it was four. In the south, it's four. That is like the most confusing country I've been. It was before when I greeted somebody that I kind of know better or became friends with. I mean, the first thing I said was, okay, how many kisses here? When you greet, like, hey, hi, how are you doing? You start kissing. I'm like, wait, how many? One, two, three, four. So I just asked because, and then once you know the region, you know how many. But oh my, it was, yeah, I found it so funny. Um, but it's a lot. I mean, four kisses, it's a lot. I just really find it a lot. But okay. Anyway, that's the custom. So then we go to the Netherlands. Again, the handshake, always good, remember? But then when it comes to kissing, it's three kisses. Again, I find it a lot. But it's the custom. Men between women, woman and woman. If you know each other well, or you go to a party, or greeting somebody, it's three kisses. Also for birthdays, also to congratulate for any kind of event or marriage or party, it's three kisses. And not men with men. No. No way unless gay. Remember that. All right. Now, last four countries for you. When I was living in Spain, I think that's good. Of course, the handshake and then two kisses. I think one, two kisses on the cheek, that's fine. If you become friends with somebody and you know them well, Spain is two kisses. So men and women, woman and woman, not two men usually. So two kisses in Spain. Scotland, again, the handshake, and mostly, again, a bit like the UK, you go out with friends, you arrive in the party, and you kind of smile and nod. There's no real kissing or hugging, but more than in the rest of the UK, because sometimes you do hug each other, or you give one kiss on the cheek, okay? So it's like, hi mate, or something like that, they say in Scotland. And so, yeah, it's a lot of smiling, it's a hug, and one kiss maybe. Again, what I said before, India, men shake hands with men. Men and women do not touch. India is totally different than the rest of culture. I made a class on East and West cultures, and there are huge differences between the East and the West culture. And now, with all of these greetings, most of the countries I've lived and worked are European, where in Europe there are already so many differences. Then when I pick India, again, it's different in a sense that men and women don't touch, where you see all the other countries in Europe that men and women do touch, but not in India. So that is the most Yeah, the biggest difference actually. Men do not touch women when meeting or greeting. What you do say is namaste. Namaste is also always good. Okay? And then we have Germany. Germany, again, a handshake, a hug, or 1 or 2 kisses on the cheek. Okay? They're not big kissers, not big huggers. Maybe if you really know each other well and you are good friends, then yes, a hug, 1 or 2 kisses on the cheek. They're not so, they don't have a very strict number either, just like the French. So voila, there you go. All these ways of greetings and kisses and cultural differences. But greeting, very important. So I hope you enjoyed this and you learned something. Thanks a lot.